All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Sunday morning in Oakland, California. We're gonna let let some people populate if they're awake. Okay. Uh, I host and produce the Philip Sadiq Show. I don't know if you can see this, but it's called what? Cascade Water. You can see that. I just got turned on to this. My mom and some family went down to Southern California, and mm, this water is smooth. The first bottle I had, it was, um, I'm used to drinking other types of water, but this water, this Cascade, it's not a promotional spot. Okay, let's get that straight. It's very good, smooth to the palate, and it was so funny when we had to look for this. So I ordered it online, and we got it. So hopefully, I'll be able to save this live stream because I haven't live streamed in months or years trying it. And I don't know how it's going to work. Recording it wasn't working, so we're going to do a live stream. Okay, everybody, welcome to the Philip Sadiq Show. I am your host, Philip Sadiq. As some of you have known, I haven't done any movie coverage, any screenings, any reviews. Folks have wondered, some of them, hey, have you quit the channel? Where have you been? Did you get, remarried? Did you meet someone? Did you fall off a cliff? None of those things have happened, y'all. I'm not quitting the channel, but I had to take a break. And okay. About maybe a little over 5 years ago. Well, some of you know my quote, other profession. I work in a hospital, a number one trauma hospital where I live. And I'm a CNA and I've had, about 20 plus years of experience. I've been, in the medical field for a minute. And the other thing was doing my channel, which was a great outlet, learning about people I sat down with. I love the red carpets. I love the interviews, the Zoom interviews, which was a great quote break from quote my other job that I do. So I had to move. I moved back in, with my mom and my dad. I call him my dad. Known him 27 years. Okay. And there's a story about that. Well, so I had to move back in because he had been showing signs of dementia, and that wandering and all those other kind of things, and God bless my mom and dad. He's my stepfather. I still consider him a dad. The man was so nice and kind, not a crossword for anybody. If you scratched him or my mom with him, you were gonna get it. That was that. So as I said, I lived back in the day. I lived in my own apartment. I had time to do all those other things. But when that began to happen, it was a decision that had to be made. And my other brothers and sisters, they were, doing other things. They had other points in their life where, quote, they couldn't do it. But me, it was an opportunity for me to watch over them. And being in the medical field at bedside, there's certain things you get to learn about looking at. Let's say you have a stranger watching your parent. Okay. Um, they might have other things outside their lives that they like to do. But when you move back in, there's certain things that quote you will be cutting. You'll be cutting back, at least for me, because my eyes are open, my ears are always open. And that comes to taking care of anyone that you have charge over or what have you. You have to put some things to the side. And that was the biggest challenge because, I pop my hand up, I can do it. But then, see, I had no idea how deep it would go. And this is for anyone taking care of a relative or a loved one when you're there 24/7. You have to make certain changes in your life. And there is going to probably be a rough period. But then as you get more deeper, you become to feel like you're responsible for all the things going on because you become eyes and ears and everything else. So my dad, God bless him, we call him Mr. T. Before that, we would go out partying. I mean, I have a picture from Sweet Jimmy's of me, my Mr. T, and my mom partying at Sweet Jimmy's. I can't post it because I don't know how to post the stuff on when you're live. So it's on my phone. I don't know how to transfer the picture from the phone onto YouTube, but whatever. But as he got, the disease began to creep up more and more, he had to be monitored more. And the man's still kind, still friendly, because I've taken care of people before. I work the night shift. I work, like say, graveyard shift, which is my choice. I've worked graveyard shift over 20 plus years. Not everyone can do it. So the things that you can't do, and I have had to look at it like, okay, when I was little, my mom took care of me. I was the one. My children are grown. They're grown, left, they're doing their own thing. The other ones had children who were, busy. They had to focus on them. So it was up to me. Single, not any real attachments, so to speak. So some people have said that, hey, you could still do a pop-in video for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes as well. No, you can't be. I mean, I could not, because my focus was on them, was about, let's say 90% would be on them. And you'd have to just watch, monitor, listen, any little thing you'd have to pop up just to go see if everything is copacetic. So I moved back in, adjustments made, and more or less it's a beautiful thing, to take care of your parents. It's rough because, as I said, you can't do those things. But what I've learned is, with all my years of experience and everything, be patient. You have to be patient. And some things you have to stand your ground, because you're in it. You are the one. You are the one that's responsible one, who everyone helps in their own way, but you're right in it. It's like, you're on the road, you have the experience, but yet everyone will have another opinion, which is cool. That's good. But see, once you're in it, I gotta listen to you have to listen to the person who's in it. Everybody helped the way they could, and that was the good thing about it. Everybody helped. Everyone tried to step up as much as they could, and I understood that. But later, as I said, as it progressed on, it began to be more and more. We had to have certain, safeguards in place. Always watching. You're always listening and getting the sleep. I mean, people at where I work, they would ask me. They would always ask, which was caring, how are your mom and dad? Always. I have family at the hospital I work at. And then they would ask me, how are you doing? And something about caretakers, I'm going to put this out there for you people who, caretakers, ask how they're doing. I look at it like this. I'm in the hospital. I see my patient. I greet them. You talk with the patient. Then you talk to whoever is there with that patient. Couple of reasons. They're there with that patient. You make sure your patient is fine. And as I said, then you talk to the person there, because they're part of that healing process. If they're upset sometimes, then that may aggravate the patient. And then the healing process does not work as fast. But if you include them in, most of us will ask the patient, and you need any water, if you can have water, any food. And immediately you go to the loved ones. You ask them, hey, do you need a blanket? Do you need some water? What can I do to help you? I reflect upon that, because when you're caring for a family member, other family members have to, remember that. Ask the caregiver, how are you doing? Which is great all around, because it's a holistic thing. Everybody has a play in this. Everybody has a character to play in this. So as I said, it progressed more and more and more. It began to be a little stressful, and I'm being honest here. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little stressful. And then as it progressed more and more, he became bedridden, and folks were asking, well, you could still go out and do some stuff, but it's always weighing on my mind. Well, actually, okay, I could do a little thing, but it's always in the head. Okay, what could happen? His breathing pattern change, anything like that. That's always a guilt that you would have, or the comfortability to not burden someone else who's there trying to watch. You get in, do your thing, get out. As I said, there are a lot of other events I had missed, but it was like, hey, this is my main event. Those two, Mom and Mr. T, they're the main event. The other events will come and go. I, gave up a lot. So fast forward, we began to make adjustments and everything else. So also, my mom's decision was to keep him on hospice and keep him at home. And that was a big decision. And everybody, if you can do that, that's probably the best thing you can do. Anybody have any questions? Leave a comment or anything. I'll get back to you with that. Any answers of things that I've learned of being have a patient, if your relative on hospice and stuff. People come in, and you're very guarded, of course, because they're your loved one. You can't just let anybody come on in. My mom and I would laugh about, okay, let's make that list. Who we're going to allow to visit and who we not, and we would just laugh at it. And this was all during the C-19 COVID too. So we really, really had to be careful. Me, myself, I knew I had to eat better, and all that kind of stuff because of the job that I did, and I thank God I never caught C-19, never caught it. And because I always was conscious, okay, if you catch it, you're bringing that into the house. Mr. T's already in a weakened state. Mom's older too. Excuse me, Cascade water. You don't want to, because we would bringing something in the house that might just be detrimental to them. So I had to make sure I was in tip top condition. I had to make sure with that. So a lot of stuff I stopped eating, because that's the one thing about a caregiver. You have to take care of yourself too, period. I look at it like you're on an airplane flight, which they would travel all around. When the mask dropped down, if you try to put the mask on the other person next to you, you fall out with no oxygen. Okay. They don't have the mask on. You put the mask on yourself first, then you put it on whoever you're sitting next to. Same thing about taking care of yourself. Try to get that. I've had to learn that. It's been a very, very, kind of eye opening thing. And folks would tell me, at work, take care of yourself, Sadiq. Take care of yourself, Sadiq. Because if you don't take care of yourself, who's going to take care of them? So as we progressed through, he became bedridden, and that brought on a whole lot of other challenges. But the hospice thing was good for us because my mom could, they could handle it. And then this year, September 9th, Mr. T passed from this life to the next. And he was around all of us who loved him, and we were around him. And that was a blessing. He got the send off that we all, as a family, pulled together, and we sent him off. And we start talking about the stories because they like to travel. My other siblings, brothers and sisters, they would travel. They went on cruises, and he teased me. He said, I need to tighten up because I get seasick. Cruising is not my thing. But they went on. They talked about the memories they had. I mean, they would have, what was one time they had the crew. They had a cruise theme. They were dressed in all white. And as we all got to talk about it, he's been in our life for 27 years. It was just unbelievable that he was in our life for that long. He remembers he was around, my nieces and nephews were babies. I remember Mr. Anderson. He was around when Anderson was born. Him and my mom would travel to Atlanta for 2, 3 months, take care of them, or my sister and her husband getting things together, and they go to Denver. So he, as I said, this might be just a salute to Mr. T. He was a good man. He was a good man. So as we, progressed him to have the funeral, there's so many people who knew this man over the years. I mean, we're talking 40 years, 50 folks who hung with him when he was a teenager. And, some of us got up and spoke and everything, but to a person, he was the man. As I said, I call him Mr. T. And before I go, I remember when I first had a chance to meet him to see how serious it was. When I was living, by myself, I would come over, and bring my clothes over a little bit because I was working a lot of hours, double shifts at the place. And my mom would wash the clothes and fold them up. Okay, cool. So that's good. One day I come over, I'm looking, okay, I'm thinking I brought my clothes over. Well, what's going on with them? And I look in the dryer, they're still here. They haven't been folded up. That's when I knew. I smiled and said, okay, my mom is serious. That's when I knew. I said, okay, Mama Mia has found someone, you know, and they were inseparable after that. And as I said, the man was great. If you needed anything, he would give it to you. No questions asked, no nothing. So September 9th of this year, 2024, as I said, he passed away. And he was hospital. He was in the house. We all surrounded him and everything. So it was great. But now as I slowly come back into movie reviews and red carpets, I thank y'all for reaching out. Some of you say, hey, where you been? Have you quit your channel? I mean, even YouTube had reached out to me and said, hey, we noticed you haven't put any content up. What's going on? Do you still want your channel live? And I tell you, all the folks who reached out to me asking me, are they okay over the years? They've always asked, your mom or dad okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are they okay? Because they knew the love that I have for both of them, especially Mr. T. They could see that, So that's it. This is just to say where have I been? Oh, the other thing is I've gotten opportunity to watch a whole lot of different content creators. And I'll peek in, drop them a super chat because a lot of them, it's like another part of my quote family, watching them, the subject matter they'd have on, the debates they would have, very entertaining. And at that time, hey, I needed to watch these things, see what's happening in the world. Because when you when you're looking for some, if you care for them, every little breath, you folks say, okay, they're breathing right. Are their pupils dilated? How many beats per minute? Are they eating? All those things come into play. And those things that the quote average person would not know what to do. So any CNA's medical personnel, you have any questions on how to cope, how to get through all this? Hey, if I can help you, Philip Sadiq here, I will give you some advice that worked in my situation. It might not work in yours, but it sure worked in mine. Still getting over it because the man was great. I mean, I could still remember laughing with him. We eat all. I still remember those things. So, but I do know that he's in a much better place. And someone had asked me, says, well, your daughter, her name was Hadia, she passed away at 21 months. My ex-wife and I, we got to take care of her. And now Mr. T passed in the later years of his life, and I got to take care of him. So it's kind of like I've kind of seen, almost a full spectrum from someone beginning life to someone's about to end life. So not that I'm better than anybody else, but as I said, I've learned an incredible amount, your support system and all those kind of things. So I could babble on more, but I'm not. So the show will be up again real soon. I'll start, you know, doing other things, interviews again, posting from other movies and things, and maybe talking about life in general and all this political stuff. That's one thing I follow politics since let's see, Jimmy Carter. Yeah, I'm that old, so it's been just wild watching over the years all this political stuff. So I don't know if I should stick my toe in it. I ain't really sure. I might just stay on just the entertainment tip. However, you never know. I might go back to that variety that I used to do when I was on Soul Beat. But I'll be back very, very, very soon. Thank you guys who DM'd me just to say, hey, you okay? What's going on with this show? Because matter of fact, go through some of the videos. Look at some of the videos of the interviews I was blessed to do and the people I was blessed to meet. Because Philip Sadiq show is we still going on. We still rolling on. So I will see you guys later. I'm gonna see how to end this stream and hopefully capture it and keep it going. Y'all take care of yourselves, okay? And I will see you real soon. The stream stopped immediately. Will no longer be live. Cool. Okay.